Came out of my second Bufo ceremony and I don't even know where to start, but I want to capture this moment, share as much as I can and grasp with my understanding. We are all multidimensional, mystical beings inhabiting this flesh, this body, this human body for an experience on earth. And it's such a gift to be alive. It's such a gift to be alive. We are inherently worth, loved, acknowledged. Everything else is just an illusion. We are love. Being alive means being life itself. There is no separation. It is just the illusion that we play out in this realm for the experience to feel what it's like to be in duality. Today I'm going to talk about my experience with Bufo Alvarius 5-Meo DMT, which was the most powerful experience of my entire life. The strongest, most transformative medicine that I have ever connected with. I'm not going to go too deep into what DMT is, but I'm going to link a video from the most beautiful teacher that I've been working with, where she is explaining more about 5-Meo DMT. 5-Meo DMT is a tryptamine-based psychedelic, and it is known as the strongest psychedelic molecule on this planet. It is 4 to 6 times stronger than DMT that you can find in ayahuasca, for example. 5-Meo DMT is found in grass and animals, in trees, and even in humans. So it's a molecule that exists on this planet for thousands, millions of years. Before I'm going to talk about my experience, I want to share with you how I get to know the two people that I was working with. Piazza and Vinaya, they both live in Mexico, and the medicine was calling me to work with both of them. And I attended a 1-week-long trauma release retreat with both of them, where it was all only about my life and my core beliefs and working with the medicine with both of them. And I would really deeply recommend everyone who wants to try this medicine to work with professional people who really deeply know what they're doing, because it is such a strong, potent medicine that it can be actually quite dangerous if you don't know how to use it. Bufo Alvarius should never be mixed with other medicines. And there are a lot of mixes and a lot of people in shamans offering strong, potent medicine journeys where they combine medicines that are actually not meant to be combined. I think it's really important to connect with one medicine at a time, because it can actually be quite dangerous if you mix 2 substances together. So it is really, really important to have the right set and setting. And for me, in my personal journey, the set and setting that I was in allowed me to go so deep, because I had all of the knowledge and I knew exactly what is going to happen in the ceremony. And I was held so beautiful in such a safe container and space for me to dive into this deep initiation. So about my experience, I was connected to Vinaya, a beautiful soul, and it was meant to be. He shared with me about the retreats that him and his partner are offering in Mexico. So I went there 1.5 months ago. I really deeply felt the call to work with both of them. And when I arrived the first day, there was a lot of deep knowledge that they shared with me so that I get to know the medicine, so I can connect with it beforehand, getting to know about all of the possibilities and how this space is going to be at the first ceremony. For me, it was really important to see all of that as a transformative experience, not only as a peak experience of my life. I was connecting with other psychedelics before for many years, but never with Bufo, which is something that is completely different than everything else I have ever experienced. It was a really sacred space, and we were diving deep into my intentions, what I want to release, what I want to work on, what I want the medicine to let me perceive about myself and change. The day of the ceremony, we had a despacho ceremony, which is a Peruvian manifestation gratitude ceremony that really allowed me to connect deep with my intention. And my deepest intention, connecting with that strong medicine, was to open up my voice and to release all of the shame and guilt that I held on my shoulders and around my throat. Finally stepping into my voice and into my expression, into who I really am, and reconnecting with the magic that lives within and around me. I just want to say that there would never be any words that could describe the feeling of connecting with that medicine. I was not pretty nervous before, the days before, but right before the ceremony I was definitely afraid, because a huge part of my ego or of myself could feel that there was something big going to happen. And there are different doses of Bufo that you can smoke. There's just a tiny little bit, a little bit more, and a full release. And I chose the full release for the first pipe. And I was smoking it, and within seconds, my entire reality was exploding and falling into pieces. It felt like the strongest feeling of death, fragmentation. It's a feeling I could never describe in words. It was super painful, but so liberating at the same time. And I experienced it all with my body and myself coming into a space of oneness, a space of the purest source consciousness. And I fully allowed my body and the medicine to work, and it was really strong. Just thinking about it makes me really emotional. I was shaking, I was screaming and crying and releasing a lot of energy, because it feels like coming back to the source of consciousness, the source of everything that exists in just a nanosecond, and it's this infinite space of creation. So everything that, all of the trauma and everything that I held on to in this life, and not only this life, it feels like all of the human suppression and depression that lives within my DNA of eons and eons of time, of darkness and density, just kind of falls apart. And I remembered the divinity that lives within me, and what an amazing, absolutely otherworldly chance it is to be this divine entity living in a human being. And I became so aware of the cycles and rhythms of nature, of life and death in the same moment, of density and darkness as well as light, and how everything plays with each other, how everything is meant to be as it is. So all of the trauma and all of the things that I held onto could just be released, because it was just the belief that I held onto, and a lot of energy stuck in my body. So the medicine really deeply helped me to release, and it's a feeling I, as I said before, could never put into words. After the first pipe, it only takes around 15 to 20 minutes, but it feels like an infinity. And it's a process that is really known to my being and to my soul. But my mind could not put it into a box. It's beyond that. And it definitely reminded me of DMT. It definitely reminded me, but it's like a shotgun. It's the strongest I have ever experienced in this lifetime as this body. After the first pipe, I had another pipe which brought me directly back to it. And it was again really hard. It felt like everything was just disappearing. Everything was dying. Everything was just transforming into a state of complete oneness with the entire universe. But it's not like a vision. It's not like something external. I felt it with all of my being. And I remember deeply that I am interconnected with everything else. Separation is an illusion. Oneness is the truth. But we are here to experience the illusion of separation, of polarity, of the bright and the dark, of the warm and the cold. We are here as entities to experience what it's like to live in the free will zone, where everything can be played out. And through the medicine of Bufo, I reminded myself, I remembered so deeply that there's nothing wrong about the dense and the dark and the sticky and the trauma. All of the things that happened in our evolution as human beings were meant to happen. Everything. And we are all exactly where we need to be. And it is such a deep, divine gift to be alive. And every time I came back into my body and slowly realized that I'm alive, I was just crying tears of joy and gratitude that I'm alive. This body is a gift. Being alive is a gift. Being able to speak is a gift. Being able to see, being able to visualize. We are truly soul's energy that is manifested in human form, in energetic, three-dimensional form, being the walking energy. But all of this is like a holographic experience. And everything that we do is because we are conditioned with our mind, with our beliefs, how we perceive ourselves. But when we step out of that and realize how freaking powerful we are as sovereign beings, experiencing what it means to be in a unique body, having a unique way of thinking and perceiving reality, while simultaneously being connected to all and everything that lives around us. When we remember, that's the most powerful feeling a human being can feel. And this is what is happening right now on the planet. And this is why I believe such a potent medicine exists, and it's a new medicine. Even though it was used from Native American people for many years, this medicine became popular 40, 50 years ago. And it's this new medicine that is the strongest, most amazing, most powerful medicine that can help oneself to remember. And through the moment of remembrance, everything else that is an illusion and that is a lie just falls apart. It's like the tower moment. It just falls. There's nothing else you can do about it. There's nothing else. 2 days later, I had another ceremony that was maybe even more potent. And it's so beyond words. But every time I just think about this medicine, my heart feels so full. And I remember that any doubt or anything that I've been conditioned to think or believe about myself is a lie. And I know so deeply that I'm loved in every moment because I am the very fabric of love. And so are you, so are we. This is the foundation of all creation. This is really what I learned so deeply. What I learned as well is that every process that I'm in has its place, has its timing, and everything is perfectly orchestrated always. And I'm a divine magical being that can magnetize anything into my field. And it is a precious gift to be alive in a body. And the medicine reminded me again of the preciousness of who I am, and that I can choose what I think and what I believe about myself, that I'm the only one that can choose the path that I'm going. And I know that all of the paths are already written, and still I can choose which path and which direction I want to go in every moment. And this is what is called sovereignty and freedom. And I'm so deeply, deeply touched and so deeply grateful that I got the chance to sit in the ceremony. And I'm so deeply grateful that I had these two amazing souls taking care of me and being so deeply present with me. I know that this space, this set and setting, working with exactly these two souls allowed me to dive so deep and to remember the foundations of the divine masculine and feminine, because they're both men and women. So both of them holding space for me kind of activated this rebirth moment. And I could remember that I'm always loved by a mother and a father. We are all always connected to the divine masculine and feminine energies. And I'm so deeply grateful for you, Piasta and Vinaya. Thank you so much. This week has been the most transformative of my entire life. And I had a feeling this year that something big is going to come and really deeply help me to allow my voice to open up, myself to express who I am, and be a beacon for others to allow themselves to express who they are. Integration, this is the most potent thing. It's a really fast experience. It's the strongest experience and the fastest experience, but you're also coming back really quickly. It's not like other medicines where it's more a process of hours. It's just 1 hour, 20 minutes, and then coming back. So one of the most important things was to integrate and to be in a space after fully for myself, and really coming back daily to remind myself of all the things that I've learned, and practices that help me with tapping and reaffirming to myself that I'm always worthy to express my full self. A lot of singing, a lot of expressing, and having time with nature, and coming home to myself and my body and taking deep care of myself every day. Because the mind kicks in, and I'm still a human being, and that's fine. I have weird thoughts sometimes. I still feel and think weird things, but it's so important to have this foundation within myself so that I can thrive from there. And what is just amazing, this medicine activates all of the parts of your brain that are kind of sleeping, but it actually doesn't put anything into the brain. It just allows the brain to be fully active. So that's the full potential that we could actually receive and perceive reality. So we are always connected to that. So the most amazing thing that happens with this medicine is called neuroplasticity. This is when all of the parts of the brain are activated, and you can actually be in a state of gamma waves, so it's really high vibration, and then new neural pathways can be created in your brain. So complete new patterns of thinking and believing and perceiving realities are being transformed within your brain. And I learned also from the people I was working with that the time after the medicine is the golden period. because it's not just an experience. When you really integrate it, it can be life-changing. And it's really coming back and really taking time for yourself. And that's what I did, and I'm so deeply grateful. I know that this was totally synchronized to sit with this medicine. I wasn't looking for it. I knew about Bufo before, but I didn't really felt the call to work with any medicine. But the medicine was searching me. And I think especially in this time, a lot of people are always looking for so many medicine and experiences and high peak moments. But you will really know when you were meant to sit with a medicine. And for anyone who feels the call, I'm so deeply, deeply, deeply believing in this medicine, in this treatment. I know deep down that when you're willing to open up and when you have the right setting, a safe space, your entire life can change. Everything can change. Even the deepest sickness can become health. I know that deeply. Thank you all so much for listening and receiving all of that information. I'm sending so much deep love from my heart, knowing that we are all connected, knowing that we are all one.